All right, welcome to the RC Underground Radio. Ryan's with me as always. This is going to be part 2 of a 2-part episode with Aaron Streblow. And we had such a great conversation about his win at the Underground, but then it kind of went over to a conversation about Attitude Raceway, some new interesting information. And what do you think, Ryan? This second episode's going to be as good as the first one.
Have you ever known me to stay on track? I mean, it doesn't happen.
Are you talking about talking, or are you talking about racing, like staying on track?
All of those things. I've told you I'm a BB in a boxcar, so this is the way it's going down. Yeah, of course we're going to go down a rabbit hole and talk about all the cool stuff that's going on at Attitude, and kind of get a good understanding of what's happening next year. I think it's important that people kind of hear what's going on, because it is some pretty exciting stuff.
I absolutely agree. So let's just jump into it.
Welcome to RC Underground Radio.
Yes, I realize I look like an idiot with this mustache, and I'm okay with it.
Yo. If you've been looking for a podcast that talks about one RC tracks, suppliers, and events, then you're in the right place.
You don't need to cut anything either. You can just call this the raw, uncut episode. We can leave it at that.
The raw.
Yeah.
Are you drinking dollar store soda again? Quit spending your money on RC stuff. You can buy some name brand soda.
When we bring this guest on, I guarantee people are going to go, "Are you kidding me?" He wrote a song for you.
I did.
We're going to have to end this soon, huh?
Yeah, no shit. And we're going to have to edit this.
Now, here are your hosts, Ryan Ratzlaff and David Brinkmann.
A few weeks ago, we had the Attitude Banquet. I want to plug Attitude Raceway here for a little bit. That was my first one. I think it was the first that you had done since COVID. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. I honestly, I've only been doing this for maybe 2 years now, year and a half, RC, and I have never been to a banquet. I thought it was an award ceremony. I thought it was super cool. The kids were there. There was some raffles going on. That was just a potluck. I mean, it was great. We were all having a few cold snacks and just hanging out. It was cool that you guys put that on. And it just, again, thank you for doing that. But don't let that continue, that tradition die, because I think it brings a lot of value to what you're doing at Attitude. So.
Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate that. We like you said, we did it before COVID, and once that came around, we obviously had to put a stop to it there in 2020. And then for a couple of years, we just didn't plan it. I guess just things like that happen once in a while, and this year came around, and I said we got to plan that again, because guys that attended it before COVID, they enjoyed that, and we had some people ask for it again, and I just appreciate the people coming out to something like that. Sometimes it's just nice to get together without the RC cars. The competition is so much fun. That's what brings us together. But then again, just hanging out, with the guys and the gals and all the kids and all the racers and away from the RC track, it's kind of nice to do, and it's a nice closing to the year to give away the awards and in that setting. And like you said, have some cold snacks and some good food and some games to go along with it. And we learned from it this year, and we got some things in the plans for next year too, hopefully to make it just as fun, if not more fun, and we'll go from there. So slideshow, that was another. It was quickly put together this year, but maybe we'll have a little longer slideshow next year that Ryan was showcased in.
Yeah, that was after a few cold snacks, and I learned that the key is here, if you want to be in the slideshow, you gotta steal Streblow's phone while he's racing. So man, that was cool that you put that together, though.
Did he do any karaoke or anything?
No karaoke, but that's something to think about for next karaoke.
Yes, we could do it. We could do that. I would definitely take part.
Yeah, I'd love to see Ryan do the Carpy song live.
Oh, I would do it in a heartbeat.
it'd be like Ryan and Budokan,
You know how many record labels I've had reach out to me wanting to sign me, and I'm like, no, you guys, I have a full-time job already. I'm perfectly fine with what I make, and I don't want to be like this multimillionaire. So,
well, you got one fan because Derek loved it. He shared it like I think 30 seconds after I sent it to him.
I got my kids walking around the house now going, I love Carpies. It's like, guys, come on. Like, I was just having some fun. You don't need to constantly give me crap. But there were some cool raffles at the awards ceremony banquet, and your daughter won a car, a B6.4 kit. So I don't want to see Dad racing that next year. So what's the plans? What does she have planned for that car? Are you going to put it together with her? What are we doing here, Strebby? I got to know.
We don't have any plans for that one yet. So
okay. All right. Well, I think that was the perfect gift, I guess, or the greatest way, is to have a kid win that. And the fact that you can put it together with your daughter and she can pick out, what she wants to do with the body. I mean, even if she wants to go off-road and all that, I just think that was super cool that she won it versus one of us humps, that would have just converted it to something and, went off and raced it. But that's super neat that she won it. And
yeah, it was neat to see the excitement on her face when the number stopped on her paddle. So that was during the paddle game. So but we gave away 2 cars that night.
Yep.
The Chase
that's right.
Jace Riedner, he ended up winning the other car, and he was super excited to win that too. So it's just great to see the excitement on the kids' faces when things like that happen.
Yeah, so, it made it all worth it, and I completely forgot about that. In fact, Paul from Shark RC Bodies donated that, and I remember, he and I were sitting next together eating dinner, and Chase had come over and asked Paul to sign the box, which I thought was super neat. So,
oh, that's cool.
Just, I mean, like I said, that was just an awesome event, and all the kids were there, and it was neat. It was cool for me too to see Dom Walecki, Chase Balistreri, all those kids. Chase Reeder get their trophies, which was super cool running the amateur class, and I'm excited to hopefully see those kids move up. I think Tony's already talking about putting Chase in a faster car. I know Dom's going to be doing it next year, so it'll be pretty cool. But while we're on the subject of Attitude, and while I got you here, we got some things happening next year at Attitude Raceway with some changes, good ones. Can you talk a little bit about that?
For classes wise, we are adding the SR10 class, Team Associate SR10. So that'll be exciting. We also have another class starting. It's called the Chaos class, and that'll just be one event per race day, and that's going to be at the end of the race day when everything's all said and done. We're going to run one event per race day for the Chaos class, and that's going to be like figure 8 racing, flagpole racing, double O racing, just all a bunch of different fun events, but it's going to have a point series to it, and we'll have trophies at the end of the year for that. So we're excited about that. And we're working on the schedule as well. We got most of the schedule done. It'll have our normal race days, and then the Matt Voigt Memorial Race, that'll be in July again. And then we got our Dana Zeno tribute race, that'll be in June again. So, and then our 2-day fall classic that'll be at the end of the year. We're looking at end of September this year. So yeah, we're excited about the new changes, a little bit of class changes, but nothing too drastic. So be a good time.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. We had such a blast as a group with that enduro with the SR10s. Me, for instance, I'm gonna need a new body because this one I got holes in it. I really couldn't figure out how to wheel that car around Attitude. I had no grip whatsoever, and I wound up getting into a lot of trouble. But I think it's going to be a neat supporting division at Attitude, and those cars aren't a ton of money. Being that they're brushless, helps cut down on overall cost, right, to run throughout the year. I also know that we're going to have some cars testing the new brushless system in the Traxxas Slash, albeit they're not going to be running for points, those cars, but it'll be neat to see at some point that division maybe move towards the brushless, which I think is fantastic because, it is a inexpensive division to run, but it's also expensive when you start, 2, 3, 4 motors a year, so on and so forth. It does add up where, if we can figure out and get some really good, proven, consistent racers to provide some good feedback with the Traxxas brushless system, I think it will kind of change the game at Attitude as far as, cost and, kind of, I don't want to say level the playing field. We don't have cheaters out there or anything like that, but just in a motor that we can all run for an entire season, I think is pretty cool and beyond. So we'll see how that all shakes out.
Yeah, I think the new brushless system is obviously going to be the future in the Slash game, and the Slash street stocks, I think, all the way across the country it's quite a big deal. It's a relatively cheaper class in RC to get into. But like you said, it can get expensive. But with the brushless, like I said, I think it's the future, and I think it's a good future for it. But I just didn't feel like it was right to switch real quick on the brushless system because, let's face it, we have 30, 40 cars out there, and we all have brush systems yet. So I think it's good to do some testing first and then see where they are in speed, because I've heard it varies, just, whether it's a tight track or a bigger track, it varies whether they're slower or faster, seeing that it's brushless and it's sensorless. So I think we got to learn all that kind of stuff, and then maybe get it a couple of years so we can kind of phase it in and not necessarily just go, bam, we all need new motors and ESCs. That way we can all kind of phase out. When your motor or ESC goes bad, then it's time to switch over to the brushless system, knowing that we're going to be going to that. So it's all trying to make decisions and what's best for the racer and the cheapest way to go with the racer, but keep the competition close and well. So.
Yeah, absolutely, because in my opinion, it's one of the best divisions to watch at Attitude, not only because I race in it and you get to see me all over the track, but
and outside the track.
And being punted out of the track, but it's really cool. There's a lot of close racing, and those cars are a heck of a lot of fun. But you're right, Aaron. That brushless motor system, if you were to just go out and buy it today, is not a cheap date. It's darn near just as expensive as buying a brush Slash right now. So maybe that price will come down, so on and so forth. And then if you already have a car, you can convert it. Or if you buy a car, more than likely it's going to have that brushless system in it. So really cool way you're doing it, and not just throwing everybody out and saying, you got to buy this and good luck, because again, it's meant to be an inexpensive division to run. So no, I think it's the right way to do it.
So hey, for me, from a track owner standpoint, kudos to you. Big applause, because that is the smartest way to do it. That's the fair way, right? Give it a chance, see where it wants to go, get the feedback from your racers, because they're going to respect you for that. Instead of, like you said, just making nope, this is the way we're going, this is the way the rest of the country's going. You're doing it the right way. So again, kudos to you for that. but I'm super excited to hear about these changes because now we got a lot more shows, right? All summer long, we got to follow this. This is going to be cutting news, right? This can be big news, like this evolution, and I want to follow how that goes, like. What are lap times versus and what was the finishings? What's some of the feedback from the drivers? What's your feedback, Aaron, as a track owner, as this test, so to speak, goes forth? And if it takes 2 years, well, that's even better because that's even more episodes, right? So it's good for all of us. But all kidding aside, no, that's just the right way to do it. The SR10, super excited about that because honestly, I think I'm going to get one. Because I think that's cool. That's something I think I can fit into everything else I got going. Can't say I could be out there every week, but that would definitely be a class I'd be interested in. Now, here's a question for you, Aaron. How about the bodies for that division? Do you have to run the body that comes, is it box stock all the way? Or maybe go into a little detail of that class?
The bodies are still being decided. So bodies and tires are a big debate now. So we have to look at options and what we think is best, what the racers want. It's right now I'm kind of torn and stuck in the middle. So I want to look at different possibilities and stuff. And I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer to it. I guess it's a brand new class. You want to keep it as box stock as you can, but there's pros and cons to everything. So I think this is one that we're going to learn as we go. And because I just ran upon a conversation on Facebook yesterday. People asked on a SR10 page. People asked about oval bodies and what the rules are, and it's about half and half. Some tracks are going full stock bodies, and other tracks are allowing a couple, the Shark bodies and the MR Customs bodies and a couple of the Pro lines and things like that. So, that's one we got to make a decision on yet, and I got to do it sooner than later so we can get them rules out and people can start planning for 2024.
Can I provide my humble opinion?
Sure.
Oh, like you wouldn't anyways.
Well, opinions, they're like something and they all stink, right? Everybody's got one and they all stink. That's what I've been told. And I know that you've been bombarded. But I will say that I think when it comes to bodies, I personally, tire-wise, I think the DE is the right move. I think it will help on that track surface and provide a little bit more mechanical grip. I know all the cars box stock have a gyro in them. But bodies, I honestly, we've got Greg Morrow from MR Customs. We've got Paul Peterson with Shark. I think it's pretty cool to, in my opinion, to be able to have kind of an open body where you could run, again, the MR Customs, Shark bodies. It'll create, in my opinion, it will definitely create or allow drivers to kind of personalize their cars, allow them to stand out a little bit. The SR10 bodies, because I've done research, because this one is, it's gone. They're $70, right? Whereas I could go online and buy a body from Paul for $26, add a few more shekels with a spoiler, use up some paint from TK Hobbies, and I'm ready to go. And so that's just my humble opinion, Aaron. But honestly, you're the track owner. I respect anything that you decide. I'll be the meatball out there running anyways, and it might be with this body that's completely destroyed. But so I get you've got a lot of decisions to make. Everybody's again got their opinions, but I'm just going to provide you with mine, and I won't give you too much heat if you tell me no. So
no, I appreciate it. Notes taken.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure you took notes, right? You're like, man, I've been hearing this the whole time, but but I think it is cool that you are adding the division, because back to those SR10s, they take a licking, and that is so evident from the enduro race that we ran. I think what we needed to do was have less cars, but in respects to with all respect to Phil, who put on that enduro, we ran what it was like 20-some cars, 28 cars that night. Yeah, it was a stupid amount of cars, way too many out on the track. But now that we're going to break it up and run it like a normal race day format and get the top guys in there, which of course I'll be in the G main, as we know. But like it'll be neat to have that class, which is, again, you got a brushed motor, albeit it's non-censored. It's not too crazy to get into it. $319, you can go throw your car down on the track and go. So I think that's a great addition to the classic cars.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it spike interest throughout the country, actually, because there's quite a few tracks that run them SR10 classes, and yeah, it's economical for the racer, and it's somewhat simple. So, like you said, buy a car, throw it down, and have some fun. So,
all right. So I just have a couple questions. It's for a friend. Can you run your own radio, or do you got to run the? Is it come with an RT? Is it RTR?
It is RTR, but you can run your own radio.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
You should run the stock radio because it has a gyro, Dave, and you'll need it.
Thank you. You're not going to win the road course now. No, I'm just kidding. You're still my.
I got a gyro in my 1RC car.
You're still my bet.
Okay.
Is that the sandwich? Like, oh,
no.
that's a gyro. Oh, I was like, wow, cool.
That's actually a euro, as the Greeks call it.
That's true.
But in Wisconsin, we call it.
I was like, cool.
gyro.
Does that come with the car? I mean, you get a free sandwich? I'm in. Okay, and then I think you guys said 18 to 20 cars were in this enduro. Like, are these guys all coming back to run this class?
I think most of them are. Yeah, if we have it, because and not many people had them before this enduro race. I know I bought one. Dale Marshall bought one. Joe Elgersma bought one. We're buying them up as soon as we heard about this enduro that Phil Jones wanted to put on, and him and Adam did a great job putting that on. They had a raffle car, so somebody could win the raffle car and join on the race that day. I don't know, 18 to 20 cars, it was too many, but I had a blast. I thought it was great. Just trying to work through traffic, and when you did have tough luck, and it took a while to get back going again, and sometimes we had good time, good laps where we probably, went a minute or so and you didn't see any wrecks, and then all heck broke loose the next corner, and then it took a while to get sorted out again. But no, it was a lot of fun. But I don't think we want to do that all the time. So that's why we're kind of creating this.
It was all for a good cause, though. You can't talk smack about that enduro. It was there to raise money, and that's exactly what we did. But yeah, I think the racers at Attitude are diehard. I mean, if they bought a car, they're coming back with it. I mean, I converted mine to a street stock for Chili Bowl. I'm going to put it back to box stock, or as close as I can. I wonder. Well, wait. Shoot, Adam Radisky's going to run tech for that division, so I don't. I better put every piece back on. But yeah, guys are going to come back out in full force with that. You'll probably see at least 15 cars the first day or first race with that one. So I think it'll be a big plus.
Hey Ryan, do they have a class for those at Trackside?
They do not. They do not. Although when I was there with Tony Balistreri, we took it out and we geared the snot out of it, and that thing was an absolute rocket ship. So no, I don't think there's anything in store with Jamie to add that as a class, but it is a 1/8, basically a buggy chassis. So it can be run all over. There are other tracks that do run that style, and especially the SR10s. I know Oshkosh runs it. I was talking with the Webbers, and that's a fun track to run as well. So yeah, you can get around with that car if you do buy one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm just going to... Oh, go ahead.
Well, or you could just buy it, and then 6 months go by, and then you sell it to me at a discount, and then I'll go run it.
Like every other car I do, right? Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm going to need someplace to practice. If I get a hold of one of these things, I gotta practice her up a little bit. I can't just show up and race like I did, because Dale won't be prepping the car, so it won't be that fantastic when I just show up and run.
Yeah, I'm busy that day that you got to set the car up.
Thanks,
just run 90 weight shock oil on the right side for Attitude, and you'll be good to go.
Oh, good to row. Good to row.
Am I right, Aaron? That's probably a good setup for him, right?
I haven't done any setup on my car.
Yeah. You know what? This is okay. All right. So here's Aaron. We know, and you run the gyro and you did everything in that car. You don't work on any of your cars. It's all Joe Algersma. This guy he's the brains behind Streblow Racing. I'm convinced that's why your Grand National dirt car, your full size car, is so damn fast, because Joe was the one putting the legwork in. You just show up and hop in and go. It's the same thing on race days at Attitude. Albeit, I know you're working, you're calling the race and everything, but yeah, Joe's got his cars ready to go. I'm sure Joe did something to your car. I guarantee it.
You're right. He probably did. He does a great job working on my stuff.
I know, Joe.
So yeah, literally, I don't even have to turn my cars on. I walk up on the driver's stand, they hand me the remote, and away I go with it. But Joe does do changes on the cars. Hey,
I give you heat. I know he does. And I give you heat about that. But you're busy calling races all damn day long. The divisions that you do run in, Joe's got your stuff ready for you, and that's cool. But Joe is super smart with that stuff. He's watching other cars out on the track. He's making, adjustments for you so that your car's ready to go when you get out there. And honestly, you're always competitive. It's not like the car's totally out to lunch or you're the world's worst driver. I just had to give you heat about it because, you just like, you like ink a check every week, and here you go, Joe. Here's a couple of bucks, and boom, But no, there's a lot of stuff that he does on that car, but you are extremely busy on race days, especially dealing with all of us whiny racers. So I shouldn't say that. You're busy entertaining all of us. And so...
Is that an edit point? Take out
yeah, you can take the whiny racer thing out.
Take whiny racers out, add in.
I'm always pissing and moaning. Why can't I make an A main? Can you just like screw up on the computer or something for me? Just make a quick little oops. Take Balistreri out and put me in his place. Oh, would that be?
You don't give yourself
Can you imagine?
credit.
I'm getting better. I think next year's going to be a fun season, but yeah, it'll be good. I just need to be able to get out and go play again. So I'm going to be actually December 2nd is the Toys for Tots race at Trackside Hobbies, and Trackside Hobbies. Excuse me. Gosh. And so we're going to do dirt oval and also off-road racing that day. But the biggest thing is, with the holidays coming up, is supporting the kids out there who, are a little less fortunate, and parents may not be able to provide gifts for their children. So I'm really big on that. Our company is that Dave and I work for is huge on Toys for Tots, and it's just like, once you see and that whole operation and those kids getting their gifts. So if anybody can make it, and whether they run off-road, on-road, again, the Toys for Tots, December 2nd at Trackside, I think it'd be really cool. Bring a donation or, a couple donations. I think it'd be really neat to see that box grow there. So, but yeah, it's just getting out, having some fun. And as always, man, thank you so much for everything you do at Attitude and giving me a place to hang out. Had it not been for that place, I wouldn't have met so many cool people such as yourself and have a group to call my friends. So it's been an absolute blast. So at Attitude, keep doing what you do.
I appreciate that, guys. Ryan and Dave, thank you very much.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. We appreciate everybody that tuned in this week. Enjoy the show. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, and we will see you next week on RC Underground Radio.
You've been listening to RC Underground Radio. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, drop us a line at rcuradio@gmail.com. We're curious to know, what do you like? What don't you like? Who would you like us to talk to?
Sounded really weird.
It was weird, but you know what I meant. We're talking about racing, so...
Okay.
You can find us on Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube. See you next time on the RC Underground Radio Podcast.
I am a BB in a boxcar.